Today's question of the week is, what are you building your car for? Do you want it to go fast in a straight line? Do you want it to be the ultimate track weapon? Do you just want it to look good? All stanced out and everything? Or are you just trying to work on cars and just learn as you go? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to be installing an Ultra Racing 2-point rear strut bar into my 2005 Toyota Corolla XRS. Now, I've seen some debate about this strut bar, specifically for the XRS. If you have a normal Corolla, then you don't need to worry, it's pretty straightforward. But if you got the XRS, things get a little bit trickier. Now, the whole debate about this strut bar, specifically for the XRS, is whether or not you can actually install it. There's a lot of people who say that you can't because of the Yamaha X-Brace mounted behind the rear seats. And they say that because of that, there's not enough space for that Ultra Racing 2-point strut bar to be installed. Well, I know from personal experience that is not true. I have a Yamaha X-Brace in my 2007 Corolla LE. Now granted, I did install that myself, so the specs may not be exactly the same as a factory X-Brace, but the general location is the same, and I know for a fact that it is possible to install that 2-point strut bar. So without any further introduction, let's get into it. That's the bolt right there you want to take out. It's a 14 mil. I do suspect though that this brace will also work for this side of the strut as well, but it's designed for that back one. I'll be back in a minute. This is difficult to actually install on video because I pretty much have to take up the entire space of the trunk, and I can't film from the other side because the X-Brace and the little shield is there. It does take a little bit of force, and chances are you are going to scratch up the inside a little bit here. But all you need to do is wiggle it around and find the right angle and you'll get it in. Now the right angle can be a little bit different for every car. As an example, this one was in an accident at some point, and so this mount is probably just maybe 1 or 2 millimeters off versus if it weren't in an accident. So the best way that I did it was putting it up here through the left, trying to get it in this gap up here, then bringing the left side of it down, and you gotta use your fist and bang on it a little bit, and eventually it'll come down. It will scratch up this tower here, but eventually if you bang it enough, it'll come down and the hole will line up with the threads. And then on this side, then I did the same thing and it went into place. Like I said, every car is a little bit different. You just got to figure out which way it is. Now if you got a normal Corolla, the non-XRS with no X-Brace, then this should be a pretty easy install because you don't have to fight against the brace over here, versus if you got an XRS like I do, then when it comes down, this brace is going to really push against this X-Brace here. Now one thing you can do is take out the X-Brace. It's held in with 4 bolts, so you got to take out the seat to get at it, but if you wiggle it around a little bit, you'll be able to install it. And then with that in, we just go ahead and line up the bolts and just bolt it in. And there it is. So all I did to finish it off was obviously just bolt it down and then cut the carpet so the carpet will go around it, and that's pretty much it. And there you have it. So as you saw, it is possible to install that 2-point strut bar in an XRS with the X-Brace, or even a regular Corolla that just has the X-Brace installed. Now, I do apologize for not being able to show you guys the bar fully getting installed. It is a little bit of a tricky process, and it's much easier to see how it's done rather than me telling you how it's done. But at the same time, it's very difficult to make myself transparent so you guys can see. It is tricky. You do have to use some force, and you have to be real patient with it. Alternatively, you can also remove the X-Brace and then install the 2-point strut bar and then put the X-Brace back in place. There is one little caveat though. So when I ordered this brace, I also ordered the 4-point strut bar as well, which apparently is discontinued. And I learned from Ultra Racing that they are discontinuing all of their products for these 9th gen Corollas. So this is probably your last chance if you want to get one of these braces, either the 2-point or the subframe brace or the fender brace or like any of the other ones that they have to offer. Now is probably the last chance before they discontinue it all. I know, unfortunate truth, but that's just kind of how this stuff goes sometimes. And who knows, maybe if we get enough people ordering Ultra Racing parts for these Corollas, then maybe they'll change their mind about getting rid of them. But anyway, that is the installation fully complete. If you want to see how to install these really nice looking Celica GTS sport pedals into your Corolla, then click over here and click over here to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.